Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I thought Jeremy was going to take the intro, but he decided to stare at me like an idiot. So we are back.
Gotta bait you.
We're back with another episode of the Unprofessional Experts. This is episode 14, I think, and we have started our single weekly basis. This kind of sucks. We're at the point right now in the season where there's no baseball, there's no football. We could talk hockey, but neither one of us knows super much about hockey. I gotta go see a hockey game. Maybe I'll talk about that. The girlfriend had a lot of fun with that one.
Oh yeah, I did see the drama behind that game.
Dude, that game was intense. Maybe we'll talk about that just a little bit because it is sports related and that's what we do here. But yeah. So what do we got today? We have just some new news that's been going around the league for the past week or so. And
That's about it.
I say announcement for Madden Mondays. Is that what we're officially calling it? Madden Mondays.
Yeah, I think Madden Mondays.
We're rocking with Madden Mondays. Madden Mondays is going to be a thing starting Monday, February 20 something. We'll get into it later. But until then, let's get into it. In sync with the bound. People actually had to see the head bob this time.
See, I didn't hear it, so I don't know if you were in sync or not.
Yeah, well.
So I can't give you a definitive answer on that.
You just got to trust me that I was in sync. That's all you got to do.
I don't know, man.
There's
a lot of trust going in.
You
there.
can trust me. I promise. I promise. All right, let's get into it. We have our Around the Leagues. We're still not sold with that name, but at this point, that's what we have, and neither one of us could think of anything else. So we're going with Around the Leagues. Let's start off, I guess, furthest back we can go. The Colts they hired their offensive coordinator for the season.
Indeed, we did.
You guys got former offensive coordinator for the Lions, the former quarterback coach for the Jags, and quarterback coach for the Colts. Believe it or not, is coming back home, right? Or was he in Denver with Peyton?
No, I think he was with the Colts.
Was he? I thought he was with the Colts.
I think he was.
But yeah, so you have I can't remember his name, but you are bringing him as your offensive coordinator, and he's been able to work with a lot of really well-known quarterbacks around the league. Is this something you like? Is this something you're a little hesitant on?
I mean, I think it's a good thing bringing in another offensive-minded coach to help us specifically with a quarterback that we're gonna hopefully draft in the draft this year. Like, all roads are pointing to that at this point. It's now just a matter of who we're gonna draft.
Have you been seeing some of the mock drafts?
Not. Yes and no. Like, I've seen.
Ooh, that's not what I wanted to open.
I don't know. I've seen obviously C.J. Stroud. I've seen Bryce Young. I've seen Richardson from Florida. That's another name he's been quietly climbing up the ranks as of recent. I've seen some wacky ass ones where it was like Colts trade the number 4 trade back and then pick up Tennessee's quarterback, even though his knee got all fucked up and
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors surrounding it. The biggest one I've actually seen to you guys is Will Levis. I've been seeing him a lot.
Oh yeah.
If you guys stay at 4, I'm seeing Will Levis a lot, and I don't love that. I know you don't love that.
No, he just. Yeah, people can always be like, oh yeah, he's got the biggest ceiling and stuff like that. You know, he's gonna be this amazing person, but he's only played, I think it was 2 seasons really, as a definitive starter in college.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time under your belt, and you're going to put your entire franchise at jeopardy potentially?
What a more Colts thing to do, though. Name a more Colts-like thing to do than do that.
Draft a quarterback and not give him an offensive line?
Well, Peyton had an offensive line for a while. Peyton held in his own.
Yeah, but then we went 5 straight years of just murdering a guy named Andrew Luck.
Yeah, well, that's not Peyton's fault.
We don't get into that too much.
He's still bitter about it.
I mean, how can you not be?
Yeah, that's fair. I'd be bitter too. But yeah, so I've seen Will Levis surrounding you guys a lot, and I don't. If you guys are picking at 4, if you stay at 4, and C.J. Stroud is gone or Bryce Young is gone, but the other is still there, you guys take Will Levis, there is going to be riots in Indianapolis. Well, more riots than there already is in Indianapolis.
I don't know. You gotta trust the process, but at the same time, it's
your process hasn't gotten you very far so far.
Yeah.
You need a new process.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that we've been seeing, along with Madden, actually, we'll
Stop
stay with
opening
that.
that.
There's apparently big change. I know I've told Sean this, but there's apparently big changes coming to Madden this year, which is going to basically be their make or break of the franchise.
The football game Madden. Let's clarify that real fast.
Yeah, Madden. There's no other Madden.
Yeah,
whatever.
But, not everyone plays Madden and knows about it. But no, absolutely, Madden is in jeopardy for this upcoming game, and it's a game that unfortunately I probably will buy. I've bought the past couple ones, and if it is the make or break one, then it's supposed to be the one, and it's always been the one. And the changes that there never any changes, man.
But they added, what was it? Stadium home field. It was home field advantage. That was the new feature this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so
make your screen shake and crap like that.
Yeah, and so let me tell you something about that. It only works on next gen consoles, but PC is not considered a next gen console, so PC doesn't even get it. So it's dumb to me. I think just no.
That's the shit that blows my mind, man.
It is so dumb. Like my computer is much stronger than your PS5. Like let me play it how I want to play. But yeah, Madden is apparently in a make or break situation where this next game will make or break the franchise. And with 2K coming out with their version of NFL game coming out soon, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And
yes, it does.
And NCAA is coming back. It makes sense.
It's gonna be a good year for football game.
Yeah.
Well, no.
2 years.
2 years because I
25.
think it's just Madden this year.
Yep. To 25. But going down throughout the next upcoming stuff here, what else we have? Cowboys are not going to be likely not putting the franchise tag on tight end Dalton Schultz.
Saw that.
Yesterday, actually, I believe they announced that Netflix announced a docu-series called Quarterbacks, which will follow Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. And it'll have them mic'd up from the games, and it'll be like behind the scene. It'll be like a what is it? The HBO series.
Oh, Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. It'll be like a Hard Knocks, but it'll follow the quarterbacks throughout the season. I believe it was this last season because they talked about MVP Mahomes. So that'll be. I'm excited for that. I don't know about you, but I'm extremely excited for that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like, it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. You got Mahomes as the good. The bad is Kirk Cousins, and then the ugly, just Marcus Mariota and his fucking downfall that he had with Atlanta this year.
Yeah, I could very easily see that show get heavily focused more towards Patrick since he had the MVP season throughout the whole thing. So I could see that show very quickly becoming focused on him.
I can too, but I wouldn't be surprised if it focused also on Mariota a decent amount.
Yeah, I think that's why maybe that's why we saw Kirk in the beginning of the season do the whole like Kirk chains thing that he had going on. The chains that he was wearing. He's trying to make content. No. He was trying to make content. He knew what he was doing. That's not him.
I can see that, but like a lot of football teams, they do some like whack shit.
That's true. Moving on to football teams and quarterbacks, Derek Carr, the Jets have said that if he comes to them, would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's no chance.
I don't think so.
He would have to go back to back with winning Super Bowls. I would feel like to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not even in the Hall of Fame category now.
Yeah, no, I mean
he's in the Hall of Good. Yeah, not even the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah, that's fair. He's in the Hall of Good. He never did anything crazy, extraordinary, but he definitely was a good quarterback. Is still a good quarterback, I should say. Just checking Twitter to make sure nothing crazy broke in the 2 minutes we press record here. What else we got? D Hop is likely landing. Named the most likely spot for D Hop to land if he is moved is the Tennessee Titans, making up for AJ Brown being gone. That team's I don't see it. That team's hitting the reset button, and I think they know they're
hitting a hard reset button.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. We've seen some small maneuvers start coming around that they're doing, and it's definitely going to be hitting the reset button here. And
to me, that screams the 2015 Colts, where they brought in Frank Gore. They brought in fuck. Who's the wide receiver from the Texans?
Mm.
The
Fuller?
like.
Will Fuller? Are you talking about?
No. He got put up for the Hall of Fame this past 2 years too.
Oh, I can't think of him off the top of my head.
I don't remember, but it reminds me of that they just try to bring in as much veteran, like
Presence.
old veteran talent that they can, and hope that has an effect, which it's not going to have an effect. Granted, what the fuck's his name that we're talking about?
D-Hop?
Yeah, granted D Hop's a really good receiver, but like,
Yeah.
he himself is not going to be able to turn that entire
No.
franchise around like that.
And speaking of that franchise, there's now speculations that the Bills would be the best landing spot if the Titans were to move on from Derrick Henry. I love that. That's a tough-nosed place. He's a tough-nosed runner.
That'd be honestly a win-win situation for both sides.
Yeah, because Bills need a running back, a proven running back. They're in a win-now mode. They're trying. We talked about it when they got bounced. They need a running game, and so adding him in is definitely a running game. That's for darn sure. And so now you've got a guy who can pound the football 20, 30 times a football game, who's going to get the yards, and I think that's a great landing spot. I love it.
I'd say so, yeah.
And I need to see it now.
Speaking of staying with the Bills, you see that there's some speculations that Stefan wants to go play with his brother in Dallas.
No, but I did not see that. No, but I mean, obviously, I think it makes sense. Everyone wants to play with their brother. I think at some point Travis and Jason Kelsey would have loved to play with each other. They weren't able to due to like things that came up. But yeah, I think that'd be great. I don't see why he'd want to go to Dallas for it. I get weaker division, but
I mean, you said it best right there.
Yeah,
weaker division, the state taxes.
But at the same time, you've already got a team that's borderline winning. I'd rather see his brother come to Buffalo.
Honestly, those two franchises are in a similar spot, I think.
I like the Bills one.
The Cowboys are the Bills of the NFC.
Don't. Oh God!
There's so
you
much.
just fed their egos. You just fed the ego.
No. Let me explain.
It's our year. He said it's our year, failer.
Exactly. It's always the Bills is this year. Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl. It's our year, boys. We're gonna get them. And what happens? They always lose.
No, I mean,
Cowboys are the Bills of the NFC.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, because I think the Bills are still a better. I think the Bills are still a much better team than the Cowboys.
I'm not saying that the Bills are a better team, but because they are. But they're the Cowboys are the Bills of the NFC. So much hype surrounding them every single year. This is our year. We're gonna win, and they shit the bed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't love that. I don't love that comparison. I really don't. I'm not a fan of it, but I guess
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's a comparison. I don't like it, but it's a comparison. Let's see what else. Staying with wide receivers, I guess we could stay there. Robbie Anderson changes his name to Chosen Anderson.
Yeah, dude.
Because
actually, did you see this is his second or third name change too.
What?
Yeah,
isn't it expensive and a long, hard process to change your name?
Expensive? Not really. Well, it's for like just passports and stuff. That's where it gets expensive. But for just changing your name, it's just a long time.
That seems like such a long process.
Cards and everything.
That seems so dumb.
I don't even know why he would do it.
I don't know either. Chosen and get out of here. And staying with another wide receiver, the Packers are trying to re-sign Alan Lazard before the start of free agency. But Alan Lazard, based on what I heard at the end of the season, he said, "I'm out." He said, "I'm not coming back here." He said, "I'm outie."
I feel like it depends if Rodgers stays or not.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know.
So Rodgers just came out of his little hidey hole today. Day of recording. Yeah. He came out of his hidey hole.
He hasn't talked about anything yet. He's probably gonna wait until he goes on Pat's show on Tuesday, if I had to guess.
That's my guess.
Or
it's probably
if he does
Tuesday he'll say something.
A breaking news, like, hey, I'm doing this, whatever.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the photos of it, it was like a 300 square foot little like room that had a bed.
A hobbit hole, basically.
Yeah, it was a hobbit. It literally was a hobbit hole because it was just like surrounded by rocks, but it was just a bed, a meditation thing, a bathtub, and then I don't remember what was on the other side of it, but that's basically the gist of what it was. I don't remember seeing a toilet in it. Now that I think about it.
Going back to a former Cowboys. Did you see the stuff with Michael Irvin?
No, what now?
So Michael Irvin's very upset over Marriott's reluctance to share a hotel footage that could clear up his name. So I guess there was false allegations of misconduct that were made to cancel him. So he is suing Marriott for $100 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean I can't blame him though, because it made him like he couldn't go on the NFL show because of that. I forgot what. I think it was for might have been for the Super Bowl, honestly, or maybe the Pro Bowl or something. But they said, yeah, you can't come on because you've got like all these false allegations and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess Marriott's not releasing the footage, so he's suing them for $100 million.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You mean Mike Maycock? Maycock?
No, Marriott, like the hotel.
Oh.
Like the hotels.
You're saying Mike, and I'm thinking the owner of the Raiders.
No.
Never
The
mind.
Marriott like hotel chain.
Yeah. Okay, now this all makes more sense. Let's think, why does Michael Irvin have anything to do with it? Never mind. All good now. Got it. Let's see.
And then not staying. Speaking of the Titans,
Speaking of the Titans, we
released
talked about the Titans a while ago, my guy. Come on now.
Yeah, I know.
I know we're trying to find these connections as we go, but you got to do better than
Dude,
that. Come on.
Man, it's been a long.
You want me to do one instead? Let me do one instead.
I got it. It's okay.
No, I got one instead. It's gonna be
Okay.
better. No, I promise.
No, there's two things with the Titans, so fuck you. so the Titans are releasing left tackle Taylor Lewan, which saved them $14 million, almost 15, which that's
a big plus.
big deal. Yeah, that's. Well, we'll see what happens because I think he's a 3-time All-Pro or Pro Bowler, so that's a
We're
big
looking at
loss
him.
for them.
Don't you worry, we're
Yeah.
looking at him.
A lot of teams are looking at him, man.
Yeah.
He's still got time to play. And then the Titans released wide receiver Robert Woods after doing shit this year.
Yeah, I mean, no one on that receiving corps did anything.
No.
Speaking of former Rams, Bobby Wagner has just been released from the team in a mutually departing way, saving the Rams $5 million. It says that Bobby wants to go and win a Super Bowl. That's basically
I could see him going back to he's from Seattle, right?
Yeah, so don't say back to Seattle. That don't make no damn sense.
No, maybe he stays within the division and goes to San Francisco.
That's an interesting
Fred
one.
Warner and Bobby Wagner
Oh,
teaming
dude,
up, man.
that's disgusting.
That's unfair.
That's disgusting.
He's a free agent now.
Yeah, he's a full free agent.
Sign.
He could go anywhere.
He's gonna be wanting to look for that team that's right there about to win. He's gonna be on the number one defense, dude. That defense could be.
That's
Shit.
that's scary. That makes them front runners in my mind. As soon as they get that quarterback position figured out, I'm putting them in front runners with that. That might be a hot take there, but we're gonna put them in front runners. If Bobby Wagner goes to San Francisco just became a front runner for the Super Bowl.
Shit.
There's a little take for you. Let's see. What's the next piece that I can connect in here? Future Hall of Famers. Did I do that one yet? No, I didn't do a future. Speaking of future Hall of Famers, now we're stretching. I think maybe a little bit. Lamar Jackson.
Okay, it's stretching it.
I told you I was stretching, maybe just a little bit.
That's
all right?
like. It's like you're stretching a rubber band right to the point it's about to snap. That's how.
He's still young, all right. But okay. Speaking of, now we're going with future Hall of Famers. I already said it. Speaking of future Hall of Famers, it's being reported that Lamar is receiving guidance, quote unquote guidance, from the NFLPA when it comes to his contract talks.
I mean,
he's also all of the counters that we have seen come from Lamar's camp have all been fully guaranteed money, and all of them have been larger than Deshaun Watson's contract.
I don't know how much I can believe that though.
I mean, here
'Cause if they were all larger than Deshaun's.
Here it is from NFL Reports. Says, quote, ESPN's Jamison Hensley and Jeremy Fowler report, quote, all of Lamar's counteroffers to the Ravens in contract talks, quote, were for fully guaranteed contracts that exceed what Deshaun Watson got.
Sorry, I was thinking the counter offers against Lamar was from the Ravens to Lamar was okay. Never mind. I understand.
No.
Lamar's
Yeah,
asking that. Okay, I get it. Now.
Lamar's asking for a fully guaranteed that is higher than what Deshaun Watson got paid.
So in regards to that and the NFLPA, makes me wonder if the NFLPA's not trying to convince him to not take as much. Because then that way it's gonna screw up the.
Well, the thing with the NFLPA came out 6 hours ago, and that was via ESPN's Dana Rossini, something like that.
Anna Rossini.
Yeah, that girl. And the report about the counter offers came out an hour ago, so they're coming out around the same time. So who knows? It could be one way or the other. It could be they're telling him, "Hey, ask for that money because of what you're doing."
I mean, I'm sure they're telling him, "Yeah, go get that bag."
Yeah,
But like, I don't know, that's a tough one.
it's a very tough one. I mean,
Um,
I think for how much he does for that team, he's absolutely worth more than Deshaun Watson.
no, 100%. Like, I'm not gonna say he's not worth that, but like, I don't know. It's that the whole Deshaun Watson contract really just fucked up the entire NFL's.
Oh yeah, and now they're trying to rebalance it with paying the other quarterbacks more that are more deserving.
Speaking of that, do you see what Daniel Jones is trying to do?
No.
He's trying to get $45 million.
I did see a report about Daniel Jones, but that was not it.
I don't have the report pulled up right now, but I saw it. Daniel Jones is trying to get like $45 million for his new contract. No. I don't think he. No, there's no way he deserves $45 million for sub-average play. No, don't get me wrong. He's a good runner. He's a good runner. Never said he's a good quarterback. He's a good runner, but like, there's no way. Give him at max 25, 27. Like, take the team-friendly deal, man. If that's all you're offered, take the team-friendly deal. Then you can re-sign Saquon if you guys really want to.
Speaking of Saquon, from the reports I'm seeing, Saquon is gone. There is no more contract talks from what I've been seeing. Saquon is out. Saquon has said, "Deuces, I'm bouncing," and he has left. I've heard that Saquon has left the building.
Saquon stays in New York.
No,
well, New York State,
New Jersey.
That's why I did the quotes, man. Air quotes.
Listen, the podcast people can't see air quotes.
Quote unquote New York.
There you go.
So maybe Saquon goes to Buffalo instead of Derrick Henry.
Oh, you're thinking Buffalo? I thought you meant Jets.
No.
That's a good landing spot, though.
Move Saquon to New York, to the Bills, man.
Tell you what, counteroffer, send Saquon to Chicago. Come on now. That's a good weapon in the receiving core.
Dude, that goes against every word you've ever said about a running back.
I know what I've said. I'm not saying you pay him. I'm just saying you get him. Speaking.
Oh my god.
Speaking of quarterbacks and running backs and quarterbacks that can run, the Broncos hire a quarterback coach that is younger than the quarterback. Former Giants backup quarterback.
I think so,
has been hired as the quarterback coach out there in Denver. I think it's kind of interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, the fact he backed up Daniel Jones and now he's going to be coaching. You see where I'm going here? He's gonna be coaching.
I don't see that going well.
I don't either. We're on the same page there.
Because Russ is gonna be like, I don't know though.
Maybe Russ is gonna like. Because I know Russ and the head coach had a conversation. I guess they had dinner, and so like obviously words were said.
I'm guessing that conversation had to be brought up.
NFL veteran quarterback Davis Webbs, who spent last season backing up Daniel Jones, is being hired as the Broncos quarterback coach. Per sources, the 28-year-old Webb is now 28-year-old Webb now will be coaching the 34-year-old Russell Wilson in his first NFL coaching job.
I don't know if I don't know, man. That could be a very bad situation for him. We all saw how Russ did last year, but then everyone's thinking
I think
Sean Payton's gonna come in and revitalize Russ, which I'm not gonna say he can't.
yeah,
He can. There's a chance.
I'm excited to see what he does with Russ. I'm excited to see that. Staying in Denver, Denver keeps their defensive coordinator, has him sign a 4-year deal in Vance Joseph.
Good. It's a very smart thing. Like
Yeah,
I know we were saying how Sean Payton wasn't gonna let him interview anywhere. He was being selfish and stuff. But like, why would you let a team interview your DC when he has one of the best defenses in the league, man. Keep the pieces that you already know that work.
Oh,
There's no reason for you to go out.
Timeout, we're done. Timeout, we're done. Not the same guy.
Okay, never mind. Then.
I say I couldn't remember.
Everything that
Either
we
way,
just fucking said, just forget it.
I mean, it kind of stands. If you do not know who your defensive coordinator is, it does not make sense to let your current defensive coordinator go out and interview for other defensive coordinator jobs. Because what if you still want him there? So I know Sean Payton was getting ridiculed for it, but I loved the move. It made absolute sense to me. Why am I going to let you go
the
to
Colts did the same thing?
Exactly. Why am I going to let you go to, Washington and interview for their DC job when I might want you here? It is a former head coach of the Broncos. That's why he was related to them. Vance Joseph. I forgot he was there.
It makes sense then. So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Where else were we going from here? I forgot where the next bounce around. Quarterbacks. I guess flipping the script and going over to quarterbacks. One last time I think. This is the last quarterback one we have. USC.
USC's quarterback Caleb Williams says he wants to get drafted to Miami.
If he has his pick.
If he could pick, yeah. If he had his pick, he would go to Miami. I
don't blame the guy.
I mean, I don't blame the guy because he probably has some sort of ties with like Miami or something. But like,
find out.
Now that I had a little bit of time to think about it, I don't hate the move.
Oh no, absolutely not. Like we said last podcast when I was talking about Justin Fields, and if he doesn't work out, he's that once in a generational talent. He's actually younger than me. That makes me feel weird now. He's one of those guys. No matter where he goes, he's gonna be a for day one starter, and I absolutely love him. I think he's great. He's amazing, and I think he'd be the number 1 overall pick if he was in this year's draft, but he's not. So he's gonna be the number 1 overall pick next year. He's once in a generation talent, and you pair him up with Tyreek Hill. Just tell him, hey, as Patty Mahomes said, screw it. Tyreek's down there. I'm just going to throw it. That's exactly what he's going to do. By the way, he does not have any ties from what I'm seeing on the surface. He was born in D.C.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Maybe he just wants to go to Florida.
Maybe he wants to vibe down there in Florida. I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, good for him. But yeah, that's that. What else do we have?
Let's see. Dolphins released free agent Mike Gesicki.
Bit
of a shocker, but not.
Geno Smith. I believe he's a free agent this year, if I'm not mistaken, actually. But could be a possibly landing in Tampa.
Did see the because
his quarterback. Quarterback coach Thad Lewis is
Thad Castle.
Thad Castle. Not the time. Thad Lewis is an incredibly close friend of his, and so him being now the quarterback coach out there in Tampa, kind of makes those ties in where he might go to Tampa now. So who knows? Everyone always speculates that. Oh well, he's got a friend there. Maybe he goes. Well, we'll see. Sure. Evan Ingram said he will hopefully return to the Jags in 2023. I
think it's a decent stay for them.
Yeah.
Like they could always use a good tight end. I mean,
yeah.
It's another receiver for Trevor Lawrence to throw to.
Yeah. Staying in the tight end spot, I saw it here a second ago. Where to go to do. I'm gonna stall with words that I can't find. It's a tight end. Nope, not Darren Waller. Well, speaking of Darren Waller, while I have it here, he said that if Tom Brady was not going to retire, it was almost a lock that he was going to Vegas.
True, but then I've also seen a report that speculates Tom Brady could also ditch retirement and go play at the 49ers if the situation pops up.
No, that's not happening. Going back to tight end, I don't even want to address that one. According to ESPN, they project the best fit for Mike Gesicki is with the Panthers over Miami.
I mean, I think anywhere he goes, he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, I was
like he's. I would say he's up in that top range for
top
tight
10
ends.
guys.
Yeah.
Staying with tight ends yet again, former 49ers tight end Vernon Davis says he thinks Trey Lance will win the job over Brock Purdy, and he'll have a breakout season in 2023.
Dude, it's hard to even talk about Trey Lance anymore, especially with Brock Purdy.
There was so much hype with him that it's hard to even look at Trey Lance as a possibility anymore.
And then the Niners go and trade, what was it, 3 first-round picks to trade up in the draft for him, and then he didn't even start the first year. Played 2 games maybe, and then got injured.
2 or 3, yeah. And then then you go to Jimmy G, and then Jimmy G goes down, and then the show goes on. The Brock Purdy, baby, show goes on.
So at what point do the Niners just count their losses and just move on without them? Because they're about to get all their picks back from that trade, basically.
And I think you do have to give. I think you do end up giving him one more season, just because, like you said, you're that close. You get you're getting those first rounders again, but you did trade 3 years, 3 future play. So I get what you're saying. Okay, let me rephrase this. I get what you're saying on they're getting their picks back, but at the same time they're not, because those 3 future players could have been players that they added to their roster. That could have been 3 fantastic players in the future. I don't exactly know who the 3 players were that have been drafted in those spots. But, yeah, I mean, at some point you do have to consider it. But at the moment, I think if I am 49ers, I am still going to try and run with him. Just because you tried everything you can to get him there. And you got him there. And now you want to keep him there, and you want him to be that guy.
Yeah, I say that, but then you're gonna run into the problem of 2 quarterbacks in the same.
Oh, they've already got the problem. They've already got the problem.
They've already got that
problem.
But
is
now
there.
It's gonna be.
So what do you do if? So what do you do?
It's gonna be very highlighted this season.
Oh, absolutely. But what do you do now? It was already highlighted last season when they decided not to start Jimmy G. What do you do? Do you keep both of them? Do you trade one of them?
I mean, they're not keeping Jimmy G. So
I'm saying
having 2 quarterbacks on the rookie contracts.
Yeah, but you can
easily keep both.
You can keep both, but should you keep both? Because, like you said, now you have the quarterback controversy, and on top of that, maybe a team, Colts, need a young quarterback. Just think about it.
No.
Shut up and let me speak. Maybe not the Colts, but some team is gonna need a quarterback. They want a young stud quarterback. Well, hey, I got 2 right here. There's one I like more than the other. Why don't I unload the other one to you for a couple first rounders? We think someone is screaming upstairs. I have no idea what is going on. It's some sort of song someone's screaming. I have no idea. Anyway, you've got 2 guys that could be starting quarterbacks. You like one more than the other. Why not move the other one for, say, even a second and third?
That's the thing, though. Are you even going to get that for one of those 2 quarterbacks?
Well, you know what I'm saying. You trade them for something decent where you're like, yeah, you know what? I think this is worth it to do. This is our guy.
Decent, to be honest with you, Trey Lance is getting.
Trey Lance, you're not going to get as much for Trey Lance. Yeah, I'd say about 5th. I thought 4th or 5th, but I was thinking more towards 5th. But you may not get as much for Trey Lance. But hey, maybe that's because you actually think Trey Lance is your guy, and you want to move Brock Purdy. Why wouldn't you sell Brock Purdy while he's high?
Again, I don't even think Brock Purdy is going to get that much.
He's going to fetch a 3rd rounder at least. And think about it. Now, what is your ROI in that? We're going to go money in this. All right, we're talking return on investment. You used the very last pick of the NFL draft on Brock. Let me finish my sentence on Brock Purdy. And you can trade him for a 3rd, and you are dead set that Trey Lance is your guy. You could trade him for a 3rd. Why wouldn't you? That is a 4-round jump.
Because there's a very good chance that Trey Lance comes in and it sucks, and everything that
That's
the Niners
that's not
had going
that's
for
not what I'm saying though. My saying is they have said Trey Lance is our guy. We don't want this quarterback controversy. We'd rather sign a veteran backup quarterback. We'd rather keep Jimmy G than keep him because we can sell him because he's young and we only use a 7th on him. We could sell him for a 3rd. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, say they did that, and now Trey Lance is their number 1. What happens when they suck? Because Trey Lance isn't the guy.
Then they made a mistake.
They away their entire future.
Then they made a mistake
for the next who knows how long.
They made a mistake. Then that's on them for messing it up. But then you can go the exact opposite. What if they decide Brock Purdy's the guy, and he ends up sinking the bed? Meanwhile, Trey Lance goes to Washington and shines.
I mean, shit happens like that. But
it's the same argument you just made. I just used a different player.
But at this moment, give me Brock Purdy over Trey Lance.
Okay, that's not what my argument was. My argument was once they decide who their guy is, why wouldn't they try and trade the other guy? They should try and trade the other guy. That's what my argument's been this whole time.
That's the thing, though. They're not going to find out who their guy is until probably the day before, even during that week of game.
They'll find him before preseason's over. They'll have that week bye where they'll move him then. Or if they don't move him until the trade deadline, they don't move him until the trade deadline. Maybe instead of draft picks, they want a player because they're making that playoff push, and they said, "Hey,
honestly, if
we didn't get Bobby Wagner. Let's go get another middle linebacker. Let's call up, what's the team that's got a good middle linebacker, a good defensive player, and no quarterback? Maybe they call up. Yeah, I was gonna say Colts, but I didn't want to give that one to you. Maybe they call up Washington and say, "Hey, not Jamar Chase, Chase Young." Chase Young, Brock Purdy, we'll send over a 3rd even. Brock Purdy and a 3rd for Chase Young.
That's not a bad. I'd take that deal at the
trade deadline. That's what my argument is, because at some point you feel like if no matter who it is, the other person is probably going to get traded at the trade deadline. If they don't, I think the 49ers are sitting on a bag of gold.
Oh yeah, it's smart for them to hold them on to the total trade deadline because it's the NFL. There's going to be injuries.
Oh, yeah.
So a team that's thinking they're right there, they just need to get a quarterback. Like, if their quarterback goes down, let me just get another proven quarterback. Or a guy that's got hype.
I like trading him before the trade. I like trading him before the trade deadline, before the season starts as well. I like trading him during the preseason, after the 3 preseason period, because then you got a team that's a hopeful. You wouldn't trade him to an AFC team. You trade him to an NFC hopeful that says, we're a quarterback away. The Jets are calling. I know the Jets are calling, and they say we want. You
just contradicted yourself like 3 different times there.
No, I'm saying
you said they're not going to trade him to an AFC team. They're going to trade him to an NFC team. Then he said the Jets are going to call.
You know what I'm saying here. Either way, a team says we're a quarterback away. You've got Brock Purdy. You have said that Trey Lance is going to be your guy. You got Brock Purdy sitting on the bench. Let's make a deal. Let's get him here so we can have our chance. I know what I said, but then I said the wrong conference. That's what happened there. I meant to say AFC. I meant NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think hold on till the trade deadline. See what team is desperate, then we can possibly get more of a return on investment.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the same thing before the season starts as well. A team that's desperate for a quarterback, say Derek Carr goes to New Orleans, which I'm actually kind of starting to like the New Orleans pick more than I like the Jets pick. Say he goes to New Orleans. Jets want a quarterback, and they see Brock Purdy sitting there, or they see Trey Lance sitting there, whichever one it is, and they say, hey, we want to make a push. We would rather make the push before the season starts. Let's get a quarterback. Which one? How much?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
It's new league year's a couple weeks away.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting
close. 3 weeks away.
2.5 weeks, something like that.
3 weeks.
Yeah, we're getting close there. But yeah, I want to talk about Derek Carr real fast, just because I kind of brought it up. I know I said last time I'd like the Jets more for him, but the more I thought about it, the more I think the Saints are a better landing spot. Because one, he hasn't competed against those quarterbacks in the AFC.
True.
He's got NFC competition, which is a lot weaker.
And it's South competition.
Exactly. So now Derek Carr goes there. Not only do they become a front runner with that division right away. I think without any other moves, Derek Carr goes there. They become. Yeah. So now you're already talking about a playoff team, and everyone knows anything can happen in playoffs. And I think, man, I think Derek Carr goes to New Orleans. He's got a weak NFC division. I think he can get through Philly. I think if he gets through Philly. If he gets through Philly, I don't count Minnesota's competition. If he gets through Philly, come on, man. Come on.
I don't know. To me, what Philly did in the Super Bowl kind of gives me that Philly's going to run the NFC for the next couple of years.
Oh, I agree. I agree that. But all I'm saying is, like I said, anything can happen in playoffs.
Playoff football, yeah, anything can happen.
On any given Sunday. So, like, all he needs it to be is his Sunday in that NFC Championship, and he's in the Super Bowl because he's got one of the easiest divisions in football outside the AFC South. And, I mean, come on.
No, you're not wrong.
I almost like New Orleans more.
Don't get me wrong. I like New Orleans more over the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you at all in that situation.
Do I think they're a Super Bowl contender? No. Are they a playoff contender? Absolutely. Right away.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But...
So.
All right. Well, other than that, there's not a whole lot of more the NFL. Shawn, you want to talk about your your game that you went to the other day?
Yeah, so Nikki bought me tickets to go see the Blackhawks take on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. She bought them for me for Christmas, so huge shout out to her. Love her to death. She's incredible. So she asked me all sorts of questions like what teams I'd like to see, and I actually told her the Golden Knights because they're my second favorite team. As soon as they joined the league, I loved them. So going to that game was absolutely incredible. She had a great time. She was incredibly surprised by how much fun she had. But late in that game, there was a goal by the Blackhawks in the last minute, and then sent us to overtime. And with 0.5 seconds left, Patrick Kane shoots the puck. It goes into the back of the net. For those of you who don't know, the goal was called off because it did not cross the line until after the clock expired. Meanwhile, you go watch like all the sorts of other plays, and there's like 0.1 second left on that clock. In my mind, it was a good goal, and my goodness, it was one of the best goals to never count in hockey history, in my mind. That was an incredible goal. The stadium erupted. Everyone lost it. Nikki lost her voice. I lost my voice. It was so much fun. But then they had no goal, and it was over. Like, this whole stadium was against... They were already against the refs because the refs were not doing great, but they were ready to throw the refs out onto Madison. Like, it was a madhouse. The Blackhawks didn't end up winning, but we had a great experience. It was a good time. It was my fourth hockey game. It was her first ever hockey game, so she had no idea what to expect. So that was fun seeing her react to the fans straight up just cheering throughout the entire national anthem because, they're not quiet during that. But yeah, that was a great game to go to. Blackhawks have now actually won 3 straight, so good for the Blackhawks on finally getting something going. But
yeah, Blackhawks are on a quiet little tear right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last. I think Patrick Kane leaves here soon, though. There's been big rumors that
I've been seeing lots of rumors about that.
I think the only reason Jonathan Toews isn't also on that list is because he stepped away due to the long-term COVID issues that he's been having. But I think both of those guys would be moved, and I think Patrick Kane still could be moved. I kind of hope he goes to Vegas because they're one of the teams that have been looking at him. Please don't go to Toronto, and maybe go to Edmonton. I'd like to see you mixed up there with Connor McDavid. I think that'd be a fun pairing. Yeah, that's a fun pairing to me. As someone who watches a little bit of hockey, that sounds fun to me. But yeah, that's my experience there. It was a great time. Had a couple beers. Tried what was it? Brisket French fries. Brisket nacho French fries, something like that. It had brisket, it had your sour cream, had French fries instead of chips, and then it had like your jalapenos and all this on it. But that was rather good. I was rather impressed by it. It does sound good, don't it? Yeah, I guess the last thing we have then, otherwise, is the official announcement of Madden Mondays coming to you live on Twitch and on YouTube. Ignore the calendar on the screen right now. February 27th. We have not set a time yet. It'll probably be, I don't know. Do you want to set a time?
5 or 6 Eastern.
I was gonna say about 5 or 6 Eastern. Yeah, 5 or 6 Eastern. I will say it right now. Officially, it will be at 5 o'clock Eastern.
Shit.
6 o'clock Eastern. Give me an extra hour, I guess. I'll take that hour. 6 o'clock Eastern. It'll run for probably an hour or two. Maybe just to see how it kind of goes. We will be switching off how we play. So Jeremy will play one, and then I'll play one. I think we'll both be in the same call, and maybe we'll set up to where both of us still have our cams up, but one of us is playing. Or maybe we'll play against each other. Who knows? So we'll figure out how that's going to work.
Expect some major technical difficulties.
Oh, there's gonna be
There probably is gonna be.
there's gonna be major technical issues, but we will be streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. We're gonna figure out a way to stream to both of them. Maybe Jeremy will stream to YouTube and I'll stream to Twitch, and you can watch them both at the same time. Maybe something like that will work out. But yeah, so expect that we will be having fun. We'll play with you guys. We'll play against each other. We'll play against randoms. And we will figure out how the rest of that will work on Monday. But until then, this episode will probably go live on Friday. Whoa.
One thing real fast. Nothing major, but oh shit! What the fuck's his name? Hold on.
Oh boy. Oh, is this about Shohei? Oh, am I spoiling things?
I'm putting it into the world out there. Shohei Ohtani to the Cubs in 2024.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Yeah, he's right. I guess before we leave, we can talk about that. His agent said that Shohei should be, quote unquote, free to explore free agency, which I agree, as he should be. And the Cubs' current right fielder, Seiya Suzuki, has been trying to convince him to come to Chicago. He says, hey.
I mean, what better city to go to?
I mean, I can name a lot of better cities to go to than Chicago, don't get me wrong. But no better sports city. No better. Yeah, I'll stick with sports city. No better sports. No better fans than Chicago. You've got the most loyal fans in Chicago, and you cannot fight me on that.
I can't. Yeah, no. As far as baseball concerned,
I think it's just a general concern. You've got the Cubs with 108 years. You got the Bears going since '85. You just got your loyal fans selling out every year. The White Sox are doing whatever they're doing. I don't follow them enough. The Blackhawks are still turning out, even though they were worse than the entire conference. I think we're third. I think we're bottom 3 in the entire NHL. Fans are still turning out, selling out Madison. The Bulls are still Madhouse on Madison. Don't look at me.
Madison Square Garden.
No. After I said it, I was like, that sounds like I just said Madison Square Garden. The Madhouse on Madison, United Center. For those of you who don't call it in Chicago, the Madhouse on Madison, still selling out. United Center, the UC. Is that better for you? The Bulls are still turning up every game. I think they're actually I think they're in playoff contention right now.
They're in contention. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're one of the play-in teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what better sport to go to than Chicago? You got some of the best fans. Some of the worst crimes, some of the best fans.
Too bad none of the teams can win a championship.
Hey, easy. All right, that's your Cubbies. That's your Cubbies.
You're right. It is my Cubbies, and we haven't done shit since 2016.
We had a run in 2017, a small run.
I mean,
yeah, come on now.
We should be in contention.
Actually, we did do shit. We traded everyone away.
We did trade everyone away. You're right. You are right.
But yeah, I think that wraps up this episode. Otherwise, I don't have
Indeed
anything else. So we will see you guys next time, which will be probably next Friday again.
Monday.
Oh, Matt.
Sean's a little stupid, people. It's okay. We will see you Monday.
I just announced Madden Monday.
For Madden Monday.
Yeah, the next podcast will go live on Friday. How about that?
Okay.
I think it's kind of the routine I want to skip to is on Fridays, just because it gets everything throughout the week, and yeah. But yeah, until then, do you have anything else to add?
Nah, man, that's it.
All right, see you on Monday.